Well, it looks like Framber Valdez is back. Wow, 10 strikeouts. Joey Loperfido looked great at the plate, and the Astros took care of business against the Fish from Florida. Let's talk about this and other things on tonight's Locked On Astros.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Stros. You find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Thank you for making us part of your daily routine. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and hit that little red button down there that says subscribe. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Wherever you listen to your podcasts, go ahead and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and become an everydayer. Somebody who listens to our podcast every day. This episode of the Locked On Astros podcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. And Brett just checked out because I'm not sure, but you can find him at H-Town Wheelhouse, and you can find him at Stros 411 and Back to the Bullpen. He is never positive, never Stros, and that's his mantra, right? But guys, what a game today. This was one of the better games that we've seen from the Houston Astros, and Brett's back. So,
yeah, hey, look, man, I'm back at the home base. Everything has been going great except for that intro. I love the technical issues that come with StreamYard, but hey, you know what? You find me at H1 House on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You know,
I already introduced you.
That's like, all right. Well, hey, you know what? You know where to find me.
I said never Stros, never positive.
No, wow, man, that's hard. That's harsh. But Eric, I like this game, and some people would say, oh, it's the Marlins. Yeah, but you know what? The Astros are 29-16 at home this year. That is a huge turnaround from last year. And so there are a lot of positives to take from a game like this, even though it's against a game that you should absolutely win. You should absolutely sweep the Marlins. And it sucks that the San Diego Padres cannot win a game against the Mariners. They're an abject failure to baseball. So Padres, you're pathetic. We can't stand you. We should be tied with the Mariners right now, but we're not, because you simply cannot score runs. But I digress. You know, it's a doubly good night, though, because the Rangers lost. Anytime the Rangers lose, an angel gets their wings, I think is how the saying goes. But, you know,
hey, Brett,
yeah.
Max Scherzer is not an angel because he wants to stay with the Rangers. He thinks that they're good enough to win. He says, we just got to play out you better baseball. I'm not going to accept a trade anywhere. So, I'm going to stay here. We're going to win here. The buck stops here. We're going to stay here and everything. So we'll see.
Okay, Max. Well, look, Max, you should have stayed in Washington. It's the only place you're able to win. Sorry, you couldn't win in Detroit. Couldn't win in LA. That was an abject failure.
He won last year with the Rangers.
Oh, that's right. Oh, wait, but did he pitch?
He won.
But wait. I mean, honestly, was he?
I don't think he was on the active roster. No.
Yeah. So yeah, he can't seem.
He
to
got
win.
A ring though.
He did get a ring. Just like the trainer. Good job.
It's a participation trophy.
No, I'm sorry. I really like hate all caps, like Rangers. Just can't stand them. Okay. Like Satan. And then, I mean, the Rangers are like right under Satan for me. So I can't stand them, but yeah, come on, Padres. You can't beat the freaking Mariners. The Mariners aren't any good this year. They're leading a division that's been maimed. This is kind of funny. Back in 2022, Eric, I posted, I reposted something from MLB on Fox on MLB, and it said the two most electric players in baseball joined forces, and it was Ohtani and it was Mike Trout. And I put on the least electric team. I mean, just like, man, there have been so many things, so many experiments with great players that haven't happened. But when I look back on this playoff run, the Astros are still on. No other team's been to 7 straight ALCS. And I still think, Eric, I know people call me a homer when I say this, but I still think that the Astros have a real shot. They have a better shot than the Rangers. I think they even have a better shot than the Mariners because of who they have, what kind of grit they have. There's a word they've been using.
Grinding. They're grinding hard.
Guys have been grinding, grit, determination, a well-oiled machine. Loperfido getting his second home run and his first triple. They were already on like cycle watch after those 2 hits. I thought it was kind of funny, but good job for Mr. Loper. But scoring early is huge, Eric, because in the past, when this season started, you and I remember commenting on many games afterwards where they gave up 4 or 5 runs in the first inning and they just couldn't recover. That's not the case anymore.
Yeah, in this case, you scored 6 runs before the 4th inning. Then you scored another 3 runs in the 6th inning, and that's all you need. 9 runs. That's going to win you a lot of ball games. And this is actually the 8th game the Astros had straight game they've won at home. They're averaging above 7 runs per game at home in their last 8 games. Can y'all believe this, guys? We're talking about a team that painted over a Budweiser sign last year, green, just to extend the batter's eye because nobody could hit at home. And all of a sudden, they figured it out. So it was just a mental thing last year. All they needed to do is press reset or maybe take the little NES cassette out. I don't know what you call it, cartridge out and blow into it or something to get all the dust out and just see if you can get Super Mario to work or something like that. But they needed to do something, and that's what Joe Espada said before the season. And the Astros are playing much better on the at home this year. They are now playing a lot better, and they're playing really good against teams with losing records. They are 32-19 now. They are 16-25 against teams with winning records. The good thing, though, is, Brett, they are, if you look at the strength of schedule for the rest of the season, the Astros have the 21st hardest strength of schedule going the rest of the way. That's good for us.
No, it is good for us, but August is still a gauntlet, man. August is a tough month. Like, that is not for the faint of heart. That is why they need to get every win under their belt they can in July. That's why, and I think that's why it's important that teams like the Padres that are playing the Mariners beat the Mariners, and the Mariners need to lose. Now, look, worst case scenario is the Astros and Mariners both keep winning. That's not worst case scenario, but if the Astros keep winning, at least they keep pace with the Mariners because you got that 3-game set coming out of the AllStar break. So I'm excited about that. We'll talk about Alvarez here in a second, but yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, before we move off the record, I stole this from Michael Schwab. I saw this on Twitter today, but this is before today's game. The Astros in 2023 at 91 games, they were 50-41. They were 2 games back from first place. Now, the 2024 Astros, they are 47-44. They are 2 games back from first place. So they have 3 less wins than they did last year. So they're not that far off from where they were last year. So this is a team that has they've risen a lot. I think they've won how many games? They've won 15 out of the last 19 games. This is a team that has one of the best records in baseball.
No, yeah. Remember, they were Sean on Sports Talk 790 said, y'all are gonna have to play 65, 650 baseball for the rest of the season in order to get so many wins. Well, right now they're playing over 65%. I mean, look, anything's possible in baseball. This team has the right approach. They attack one game at a time. Every game's important to them. They don't take their opponents lightly. And Framber Valdez showed it tonight, dude. He looked so good.
Yes. And class, you do have to listen. I did say before today's game, I know they won today's game, but this was before today's game. I gave you those stats. So that's why you got to listen, class. So
what are you saying? Someone's trying to correct you?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying 48 wins. Well, we know 48 wins.
It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We know what we're talking about. They should know what we're talking about. But before we go, from the show today, we cannot forget to mention Mr. Ort. This dude is an animal.
Yeah, definitely. We'll mention him. We'll talk about what happened to Alvarez in a second.
This episode is brought to you by Stitch Fix. Style so good you can feel it. You know the instant confident boost you get from your outfit that makes you look really good? That's what I get with Stitch Fix. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist that understands your style, your size, and budget, and they do the shopping for you the easiest way to update your wardrobe this season. It's an easy upgrade. A professional stylist who will upgrade your professional wardrobe even more professionally. That's right. My stylist always knows just what to send me. The fit is always on point, and it's like they have a style ESP. I don't know how they do it. They just get me. And if you don't love something, it's simple. You send it back. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are always free. Now it's the best time to get stitchfix.com/MLB for $100 off. That's $25 off your first 4 fixes for a limited time. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $100 off. Stitchfix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days of sign up. This does not include fixes for children. Here at Locked On Astros, we pride ourselves in getting you the latest news for your team all season long, off season, in season, postseason, draft time. It doesn't matter. And you know what is also year round? Collection season. That's right. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS won't stop coming after you for your unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. So don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. I can trust someone with over 14 years experience and an A+ business rating on the Better Business Bureau. That's why I go to Tax Network USA. They have saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, you have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit the parlay this season and need help filing correctly, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/locked on. And be sure to mention Locked On Astros sent you at checkout, and you'll receive a $250 discount off their services.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. And Michael Connor, he got his power back, so you can go ahead and check out the Locked On Astros postcast and as well. Ow, my hip is hurting. Oh, who do I have in common with? Well, apparently Yordan Alvarez, and my hip is not really hurting, but I was just doing a little play acting here.
I was like, what in the hell did Eric do?
But apparently, when he was running first to third,
Hold on, was that premeditated? Was that pre-planned?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus, Eric, don't give Eric too much time to plan.
So, Joe Espada said that Alvarez's hip tightened up as he ran second to home, and he said that this is not something that they think will linger. They just want to get him out of this game. They felt pretty comfortable at that point, and so hopefully this is nothing major. At first glance, we all were like, oh, hopefully it's not something with his knee, because even the TV crew, the camera instantly went to his knee because they said, oh, he slid into home plate and maybe he re-aggravated his knee or something like that. Everybody's a doctor, even the camera crew. But yes. So hopefully this is a situation where it's not a big deal. This is just a precautionary thing. But speaking of precautionary, we saw that I don't know if you saw Jose Altuve's hand, but it's purple after being hit by the pitch the other day. So it's still trying to get better.
Altuve's a gamer. Yeah, Altuve is a gamer. The good thing about what it sounds like with Yordan when it talks about tightness in his hip is a lot of times that has to do with your hip flexor. And I'm going to go WebMD on you. And I would beg to go with the theory that in these last few days, his routine has been less than routine. And there's a very strong possibility that it's like Yordon Alvarez is a type of athlete that absolutely has to have a stretching routine every single day, because his hip flexors have got to tighten up pretty easily with as much just person that he is. You know what I'm saying? He's a solid guy from head to toe. And so I think if that hip flexor is the least bit tight, is the least bit not stretched out properly, something like that's easy to pop up, but it's also easy to fix. I think if Yordan goes through some extended stretching, maybe they go with one of the team doctors and do some PT on that area tomorrow, I would think he would be fine to play in the game. I wouldn't see any reason to sit him. But if it's just a hip flexor, hopefully it's something like that, because let me tell you, stretching is something that almost nobody does. The only people that really do it are pro athletes who have guys that tell them, oh, you've got to stretch. That is a discipline. And so that's how I took it with Yordan. I'm not worried at all with him. But Eric, Framber Valdez, his sinker and his curveball was absolutely moving through the zone, 80, 81 miles an hour. He was fishing, not to use a pun, not to be punny, but he was fishing in the bottom of the zone, and those bats were missing his sinkers. And when his velo is up and he's throwing too hard, his pitches are flattened out and people are hitting them. Nobody was hitting them today. He was getting them to ground into double plays, getting them to swing and miss. 10 strikeouts. It's only the second time 10 strikeouts has been done this year in a Nationals uniform. Eric Getty was the first one, and he has 53 wins now in the 2020s, the winningest pitcher in Major League Baseball in the 2020s. That's something I didn't know until tonight.
Yes, he's also has a 60.5% ground ball rate across 90.1 innings. He struck out 7.5 batters per 9 innings. He walked 2.9 batters per 9, and he has a 312 batting average with the ball in play. But also, he has been doing a good job with the double play. I believe in last year, he had a career high 25 and 201 innings. He already has 22 double plays. Sorry, that was last year. And then this year, he already has 23 and 98 innings pitched. So he's becoming more of a ground ball pitcher. As I know we criticize him, but the ground ball is his bestie, as Jeff Blum kept on bringing up on the
Did he say
show.
bestie?
Yeah, he kept on saying that, and my girlfriend was like, "He didn't just say bestie, did he?"
Yeah, he did. He said bestie, just like I was listening to Sean and Brown on the way back from San Antonio this morning, and they were cringing over Joe Espada calling John Singleton Singy, which is kind of weird for a manager to do that. But Eric, he had Framber had 17 swings and misses. 10 of them were on the curveball, 5 on the slider, 2 on the changeup. He didn't have any swings and misses on the sinker, but it was moving through the zone. So the whiffs all came on the curveball. And he just looked really sharp. He didn't look sharp. He didn't look great in his outing before that. But when you have Framber starting it, and look, this guy, Mr. Ort, where did you come from? What planet are you from? Because you, sir, have got 6 strikeouts?
4 or 5 teams passed on him. The Orioles had him in the
6
system.
K to 3 innings pitched, no earned runs. Could this guy, Eric, be one of could he be someone who avoids us having to get a relief pitcher? Because I'm telling you right now, I don't care how great Valdez was tonight. I don't care how good Ronell was, even though his velocity was down. The Astros have to go out and get a starting pitcher. They have to.
Well, in a little bit, we'll talk about what Dana Brown had to say, and he wants to go to a 6-man rotation. And you might be thinking, well, Eric, do they have 6 starters to go with the 6-man rotation? So we're going to have to talk about who the options are for a 6-man rotation, because the Astros are going to have to do something. You can't keep on throwing Ronel Blanco out there every 5th day. You're going to have to give him some rest, because he's going to reach that inning mark, the 180 or whatever inning mark they have pretty quickly. So they're going to have to do something for him, Spencer Getty, Hunter Brown. So they're going to have to get some help. And whether it's at the trade deadline, you can't count on Lance McCullers anymore until he proves otherwise. Luis Garcia, you can't count on him until he proves otherwise. So we'll have to talk about that afterwards, and then we'll hear more about what Dana Brown have to say.
This episode is brought to you by Booking.com. Go to the site today or use the app Booking.com. With summer travel heating up, especially travel for baseball games, it's time to explore these U.S. cities you've always secretly wanted to learn more about. Yes, we're talking about your rivals team cities. Milwaukee, Boston, Chicago, New York, LA, Atlanta, Tampa. I mean, with hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, so much more on Booking.com, you might just find the perfect stay, even in your rival's team city. Look, I was in San Antonio this last week, and I used Booking.com. It was easy. Found a hotel. Now, I wasn't overlooking a stadium, but if that's what you want, you can overlook a stadium. Family-friendly resorts. Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this MLB season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today at Booking.com on our site or in the Booking.com app. And you know what? I felt like giving some tickets away. I went to the Game Time app and I found the perfect tickets at a really good price, and I gave them away to a lucky listener on X. I couldn't do that anywhere else. I knew the price going into it. The all-in-one pricing, it was close to Game Time, so they're the cheapest I could find it anywhere. And look, if I happened to find that same section and row at a cheaper price, Game Time would actually credit my account 110% the difference. So for first-time customers, they have this code Locked On MLB that you type in, $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. All-in-one pricing, seat views, lowest price guaranteed. Download the Game Time app today. Create an account and use the code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code Locked On MLB, LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Hey, you looking at the screen right now, you see that little red button down there that says subscribe? Go and hit that subscribe button. Make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. I'm Eric. He's Brett. We are the Locked On Astros podcast, and we want you to listen to us every day. And we appreciate every one of you that become everydayers, and we appreciate the support. Everybody that is listening to us, whether it's midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever time you listen to us, we appreciate it. And go and check out Michael Connor as well. And you can listen to both shows on your Amazon Fire TV stick. Just go and check that out as well. So we do know for sure that Jake Bloss is going to get the start tomorrow, Brett. He is going to be starting,
yes.
And he's going to be officially added to the roster. I was going to say that Ort was probably going to be the odd man out.
God, I hope not.
At this point, I don't know who's going to be the odd man out, because we're going to go deeper into the conversation in a second. But he's going to be limited to about 75 pitches, and they said it could go up to 80 depending on how stressful the innings are.
I'll make it real easy. Trey Cabbage. It's not hard. It's not hard. This is not a rocket. What?
You can't roster wise. You have to have a certain amount of pitchers and a certain amount of hitters.
Oh, I gotta, you know what, MLB, y'all suck. I'm sorry. These stupid rules are archaic rules, but hey, good morning to Mr. Mark. Thank you for listening from Cape Town, South Africa, 5:37 a.m. He said it's worth it. He loves the Astros, sir. Thank you for listening to us across the globe. And no, sorry, we cannot DFA people that are guests on our show. We don't have a contractual obligation to David, nor does he have to us. But look, we welcome David in every single show because I think David's goal, just like all of ours is, he wants to see the Houston Astros on top winning baseball games. But yeah, Eric, that actually brings up a kind of a quandary that the Astros will be in. Like, who do they send out? It's not going to be Dubin because Dana Brown talked about Dubin being one of those answers. He talked about AJ Blueball being one of those answers. So, I mean, they're clearly looking within the organization right now. It's just who's going to be sent back. So is this a roster move where they have to remove someone, or they just have to send someone down to AAA?
They just have to send somebody down to AAA.
So would Martinez, is he eligible? Is he a guy? I mean,
why? He's one of your best
pitchers. No, I know, but I'm just trying to think of like who. Maybe it's Ort because he's been up here the least amount of time. maybe they do that, even though he's been great, they send him down. But when it's time to come back up, I don't know, man. Look, that is why I'm glad I'm not a GM. That is why I'm glad I don't call myself a GM, because these moves are definitely not easy. But it's good that you have that problem, Eric, that you're not
Brian
going.
King is an option, but he's been pitching okay.
King, I think King would be to me, because Ort's been so successful in this small sample size.
So is King, though. So it's kind of a catch-24.
Catch-22.
Whatever it is.
Catch-24.
Whatever.
Eric's.
You're the one that said send down Seth Martinez, who's been one of our most reliable.
No,
pitchers.
I know. I was just trying to think of, I don't know, like that was my point, is like, who do you send down? Because everybody's been reliable at this, and at this time. But you're right. If it's a catcher, I mean, if it's a pitcher and a position player kind of system, then yeah, you don't know. So what did Dana Brown say about this club? What did he say about the moves that they want to make or they're looking to make at the trade deadline?
Well, he says that, first of all, he did say that the players thought that Ronel Blanco should have been an all-star. And so this is something that I think the whole organization thinks that they missed on. He said that he's still counting on Lance McCullers coming back. Maybe they're going to use him as a reliever this year. He mentioned that there's no structural damage, so it's just a setback. We're going to do what we and this is what he had to say about the trade deadline. We're going to do what we got to do. It takes two sides, but it has to make sense for the club. If not, we'll ask one of the young kids to step up. And if you're looking for a starting pitcher, he's talking about AJ Blueball, or maybe have stretching out Sean Dubin a little bit more. Yeah. Maybe you send down Dubin and just stretch him out a little bit there. But Eric Lauer is another name that he mentioned as a possible guy you can bring up. So, but he said, you got to stay the course. You get to the promised land. Let's get to the postseason and get your big game. He was deserving. Oh, this was on Ronel Blanco. So basically, he just, I think all of Houston feels like Ronel Blanco was kind of snubbed. And he said about adding, maybe going to a 6-man rotation, we got to get these guys some rest. And otherwise, he didn't say this, but this is what I'm saying, or else their arms are going to fall off. We already saw the diminished velocity from Ronel Blanco in addition to the purple hair. So you got to do something to kind of alleviate this. So Ronel Blanco, you need him. If the Astros are going to make it to the postseason, you need him in the postseason. So you don't want to burn all his innings in the regular season.
Yeah, and they're gonna figure out a way. I trust the process. The Astros have guys that are smarter than all of us in this room combined. And that's why none of us are behind the paywall of getting paid 6 figures to figure these things out. And I just think it would be a good nod for Ronel Blanco to be there, even if he doesn't really get to pitch. Maybe he gets to throw, because do they have the 3-batter minimum in the AllStar game? I really hope not. It's an exhibition game. That would be really lame if they do. It would actually be really stupid. But a lot of these rules are stupid. Like, you can only disengage from the mound twice, the bigger bases. It's all dumb. It's just for what, I do like shorter games. That's the only thing I like about the new rule changes. I didn't think I would like it. I like it less when I want to socialize with my friends at the game. But the snub is just that for the fans. Ronel Blanco is not losing sleep or tossing and turning in his bed at night. He's worrying about, how can I finish the season strong? Because he wants to, like, as much as you and I want him out there on the mound, Eric, I guarantee you Ronel wants to be out there 10 times more. I saw how the guy worked. I saw his work ethic. And I just want to mention this real quick. Mike Stanton said the reason why he thinks there's so many injuries and so many pitchers that go down is they waste a lot of pitchers. They waste a lot of pitches in their bullpens, and they waste a lot of pitches in their warm-ups. And he said he never wasted a pitch. He would throw maybe one hard pitch full strength before he got out on the mound. He said he never wasted his bullets. And he said he just thinks pitchers are wasting their bullets way too much in between innings, in between starts. And he said, because when you throw that hard fastball, you don't have another one left. You don't replace it. It's not like loading a gun, literally. So physically speaking, that may be some of the stress on them.
You eventually run out of bullets, and you can't go out there and in terms of arm strength, you can't go out and buy new bullets for your arm, because eventually you're going to have some wear and tear on there. And that's what we have with the pitchers nowadays, so to kind of go off your analogy. So the Astros are going to have to make a decision. Are they going to go for it? Right now, they're 2 games behind the Mariners. The Mariners are showing some weakness. They have been winning a little bit more recently because they feel the Astros breath behind them, and so they're like, oh crap, we got to win. But their Mariners offense is not great. Their pitching is good, but their offense is not great. So the Astros are going to have to decide how much do they want to win this, and that's what they're going to have to do over the next 20 days before the trade deadline. And that's what they're going to do at the trade deadline, because we know they don't want to give up a lot of their top prospects. But if they want to go out there and win, go to 8 straight ALCSs potentially, they're going to have to make a decision pretty soon. And you can't go with the pitching that you have right now, because you have 3 strong starters, at sometimes 4 strong starters, and then beyond that, you don't have much.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, man, this has been a good show. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate all y'all. Some of y'all still don't have power. Y'all are on our thoughts and prayers. We hope everything's well. Stay safe, and make sure that you make us your first listen every single day. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. I'm HMY House. He's Eric the Man Huysman, and we are out with another edition of Locked On Astros.